It's now 7 p.m. Going to call this meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. This meeting is being recorded live for CNUT's YouTube channel. Does anybody have any public comments on anything other than the hearing tonight? Mr. Helms.
Bruce Helms. On behalf of the Pennsylvania State Association of Township Supervisors, I'd like to extend my warmest congratulations and deepest gratitude for you, Dave, you, Chuck, your dedicated years of service to your township. Your commitment to public service has been invaluable. Please accept the enclosed certificate as a small but heartfelt token of our sincere appreciation for your tireless efforts. With dedicated individuals like you, having served in Pennsylvania's local government, we can rest assured that the quality of township life will continue to survive and thrive as innovation meets tradition. We are immensely proud of our township officials and staff, and we especially recognize those of you who have consistently served the community year after year. We commend you for a job exceptionally well done. The residents of your township are fortunate to have benefited from your leadership and can take great pride in all that you have accomplished on their behalf. We recognize the sacrifices and hard work that come along with serving the public, and your unwavering commitment sets a high standard for all who follow. All our very best to you in your future endeavors. Thank you. David M. Sanko, Executive Director.
Thank you.
This is the certificate for Dave and also one for Chuck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else have any public comments? Yes, sir.
Cliff Neal, I'm just representing Port Matilda Emergency Medical Services, and here if there's any questions or concerns that anybody would have from the township. Other than that, no commentary.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Hearing none, seeing none, move on. Approval of the minutes. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes? Do I hear a second?
Second.
Moving second. Any comments or questions by the board? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next up, the consent agenda. Do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Hear a second? Moving second. Any discussion? Call for the question. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Next up, final plan for the Tice-Portman subdivision being tax parcel 17-415-23/23A. Guess there's two lots. Is that your deal? You want to just apprise the public of what's going on, if you would, please?
We're doing a two-lot subdivision on Autumn Circle.
Can you say who you are, please?
John Kopchak Land Surveying. We're doing a two-lot subdivision on Autumn Circle. It's a residential house and then a commercial building. We're just separating the two lots. They have city water, or they have wells, and we're going through the process of getting sewage approvals on everything. Planning Commission last night conditionally approved some stuff, the plans, pending some articles of concern that's being addressed today in front of you guys. If anybody has any more questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Mr. Chairman, ma'am.
Go ahead.
So question on the sewage, you said you're getting sewage permissions. There's lots, sewage lots, or septic's already on
Yeah,
each
they
lot,
already
right?
have on-lot sewage that they're currently utilizing. There are replacement areas that were permitted years ago we're going back through DEP to get them recertified
Okay.
as approved lots.
And that's,
The same locations?
For same exact location, same pits, the same everything.
Okay.
So,
that's part of the process of subdivision, right?
correct.
The plan itself, there's two lots involving in the property, and you're moving a lot line between the two properties, correct?
Correct. It started out as one lot. Well, there's two lots. There's one, the main lot, and then there's a neighbor lot. We're taking,
3/4,
well, like 5/8 of an acre off the neighbor and adding it to the residential lot. And then revising making a lot for the commercial building.
Or does that plan, one I looked at the other day, does that show a creation of a new subdivision lot or subdivided lot as well, in addition to the replot, or just a replot?
It's the same map you'd have seen the other day.
Is it a replot, or is it a new subdivision?
It's creating essentially one new lot.
Well, that's a subdivision, it's creating a new lot. As you know or may not know, and the board may or may not know, our subdivision land development regulations require or put a limit on the maximum number of residences on a single access street system. This would cause it to exceed the maximum number of residences or building lots on the single access street system. And I see it's the planning commission that recommended granting a waiver for that. The board of supervisors has the authority to do so, yes, Ms.
I have a
Harlan.
question. It is adding a lot, but it's not adding a residence, because there's currently a residence on the one that's being subdivided off, that's been there, what I understand, for 30 or 40 years. So
Correct.
it's not really gonna change, and they've been just coming as a driveway through the commercial area. So it's not really changing the number of people or the impact that's been there for 30 or 40 years. It's just making that now its own lot, so he has a separate between where there could be a home and the business. He just wants to separate those two
Correct.
things, correct?
But-
So it's not really changing impact.
Right, but it does add a lot for the purposes of determining the number of lots accessing a public road.
Number of lots, but not really number of residences.
But only by one.
Correct.
And so,
I want to correct something. It's not a public road, it's a private road.
right,
And it's a single access street system, which
Right.
is why we're having the.
that's why we have the
The
issue.
waiver.
Yeah, and as far as the number that was arrived at sometime in history of 16, as far as I can tell, there was never any clear definition of how that number was arrived at. So I think that's another factor in issuing, or allowing a waiver, or request for a waiver, I should say. So, I don't know who, when was that,
Well,
or how was that decided?
That was done back in the
Scientifically?
90s, and it was done because we had too many dead-end streets with
Right.
too many vehicles coming and going, so.
Right.
A number was selected based on what the planning commission and supervisors and center region planning at that time had recommended for a
Okay.
single access street system.
All right.
I think the key thing to note on this is the number of residences or the number of units that access that street is not changing. Is there a private street agreement or right-of-way agreement in play with this, with the other people that are using this private street?
There is, yes.
Yes, there's easements and such that are incorporated into this.
Okay, is that a recorded document?
It is.
It is, okay. Just trying to get all the facts out there before we start doing things. All right, do I hear a motion from the board to grant the waiver request for subdivision land development ordinance 2015-16, which is the number of units on a street, single access street system? Or would the board like to discuss it?
So we're doing motions on the two waivers, B and C.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a motion for the first one. I'll move that.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Any discussion by the board, questions by board members?
Dave, I just want to clarify something.
Yeah.
The motion. The planning commission specifically, excuse me, did put conditions on, you have my copy of the condition. If you agree with the condition that no further subdivision, see, they did the waivers together, but one of the conditions was that no further subdivision of either lot be permitted and that each lot only have one driveway. Is this going to be part of your
That was
motion?
gonna be a question of mine,
Okay.
so if that is part of the motion, I will second it.
Okay.
But should we vote on one set of waivers? Are they one and the same? In other words, inseparable? Or do we vote on each one of them? It sounds like they're together.
Well, the second part is the lot frontage and access,
Right.
which is a different subsection in our
It
ordinance.
is.
But I think we ought to vote on them independently because, I mean, our discussion is part of the record.
Okay.
I don't take this lightly because I don't like waiving things for people in general unless there's a very, very, very good reason. I don't know that there's a good reason in here, in my opinion. But there's a good, I agree with what Ron said, the logic behind 16 versus 17, but just know that at some point in the future, in some part of the future board, somebody else is gonna come in and ask for a waiver, and they're gonna say, well, if it's, why not 20?
Or a precedent that,
Yeah, we're setting a precedent here. We're waiving our own rules.
Well, but I think we
There's
can
already
clarify
enough.
that precedence because the fact that this lot already has a residence on it,
It's septic.
it's not an additional lot with a new residence. The residence currently exists and has existed for 30-some years.
Which is the only reason why I
Which is
would
the
vote
only
for it.
reason why we're allowing it, so,
we are creating another lot. Or they are creating another lot.
but
Not a
not a
residence.
lot that doesn't have a residence on it. The lot that we're creating already has a residence on it.
Right.
So the traffic-wise and vehicles going on to the road does not change.
But the road access has to be the way it currently is. They're not building a new road.
No.
They're using the same road that goes through what will become the commercial property. So, that can become an issue in the future, is all I'm saying. However, I understand how the planning commission arrived at their recommendation, so I'm okay with that.
Just a point of clarification, I'm Mark Cardle from the Planning Commission. The no more than one driveway per lot, that's one commercial, one residential. So they can share if they want, but they can have separate if they want.
But right now, under this plan and the waiver that we're reviewing, there's one driveway. There's one,
There's one, but the condition was no more than one driveway per lot. There are two lots. If you agree with the subdivision, there'll be two lots.
but this lot is landlocked, isn't it?
You can see the yellow, it comes down to the
Okay,
private
so
road.
that's the
The
new
yellow is the
This-
new.
residential lot?
This,
Yeah,
Yes.
you can see where the current residence is up there. that
We'll
red-
have frontage on a
Alright.
private street.
Okay,
they can put a drive-in for that lot.
In the future,
Yes.
if they choose,
okay.
Right.
That's where you end up with adding another.
yes.
Right, and I'm
access point.
okay with it in this
It's
instance
a private
because the
road.
residence currently and has been existing there, so.
Is
as
the
long as
owner of-
my motion includes those conditions, I will second it.
Sure, so if you want to do each one separate, they can be included in both motions.
Okay.
Well, that's based on what the planning commission recommended.
Correct.
right?
But I'm just saying they did them together where
Yeah.
you're separate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Is the owner of the new residential lot the same as the person that owns the commercial business in the front? Is their intent to keep that lot back there as the owner?
Yes.
I would say as long as they're owned by one person, it would be okay to use the same driveway, but if they sell it off, they would be responsible for a new driveway.
That's why we did the flag lot, in case, right now, he has no intentions to sell on either lot. He wants to retain, he runs a business out of the front one, he wants to live in the back one, he has no intentions. If anything shall change down the road, that's why we did the flag lot.
Well, I would ask that Ms. Hartle amend her motion to say that should that lot be separated in ownership from a single entity to two different entities, then the second driveway would be mandatory that they would have to build it. And that would be on the record. Are you okay with that?
I guess my question would be, is it necessary? And I'm guessing if somebody's selling it, they'd probably do it anyways. You just
Would they
want
not,
it for-
could they not have an agreement, the two owners have an agreement to use the same
Well,
road?
the problem is that's a
Right-of-way
commercial,
agreement, wouldn't
it's a commercial body shop, and I know what's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna come in there, they'll be coming and going, parking cars, and there's no organization to it. And then somebody's gonna come home and they're not gonna be able to get back to their house. And there's gonna be a war, and then
But is that our
they'll be
problem?
standing down here in front of the township people saying, I can't get to my house because they park cars
It really
in
wouldn't matter when we're.
These driveways enter onto a private road.
Put that flag.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? If it's a public road, it might be an issue. It's not a public road, I don't think it's ever gonna be. a
I'm pretty
public
sure
road.
somebody would do that to self. I'm fine with that amendment.
If you wanna do it that way, it's fine.
Okay, Ms. Hartle's
long as I
fine with
agree.
this amendment change, as per my recommendation. Anybody have any other questions? Do I got a motion, and Tammy, you still seconding?
Yeah, so we're, just to clarify, Patty's original motion, and then we have the two amendments added, which is the recommendations from the planning commission that no further subdivision, and each lot have only one driveway. And the additional amendment was if the new lot is sold and no longer owned by the same people that own the commercial business, that a driveway must be put in.
That sounds
Am I
about
correct
right.
on all that?
That sounds correct.
I would second that.
All right, anybody in the board have any other questions? Call for the question. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, next up, waiver request from subdivision land development ordinance 215-18B1, lot frontage and access.
We pretty much just all discussed that, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Do I hear a motion? Do I hear a second?
second.
Moved and second. Any other discussion by the board?
Just making sure those conditions go forward with this motion as well.
Call for the question. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Got your waivers.
Thank you, planning commission, for doing your work
Yep.
ahead of time on that for us. Appreciate that.
Next up,
Plan,
resolution.
Dave,
Hmm?
the plan.
We ready to sign off on the plan?
Well, now that you approved the waivers.
Okay, I didn't know if everything was done or they
Yeah,
were
the
just requesting the
comments are-
waiver
yeah,
before
no,
final submission.
Nope, the comments are,
Corey, good with everything?
yes.
All right, do I hear a motion to approve the Tice Portman subdivision of tax parcel 17-415, 23 and 23A? Do I hear a second?
Second.
Moving to second, any discussion by the board? Call for the question, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. You wanna throw the plan up here in the desk, I'll sign off on it, you can get Amy's signature.
They don't, it's not signed.
It's
They
not
don't
signed.
have owners'
They don't have a
You
signature.
don't have the owner signatures on there.
No.
I was waiting to see,
How soon do you expect to have the owner signatures?
plan on dropping this off at the owners tonight, so they can.
All right, well, when you get the owner signatures signed and notarized, bring it back here to the township office, but do it quick, because people are going on holiday, and when the year rolls over, my signature expires,
Yeah.
so. All right, we need a resolution for the Component 2 sewage planning module for the Tice subdivision. Would anybody like to make a motion to review or approve the Component 2 sewage planning module by resolution?
So moved.
I hear a second.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion by the board? Call for the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. You have a signed sewage planning module ready to go.
You don't need to sign that actually because they don't have any marginal soil.
It is a resolution on the cover page, so.
It just requires the secretary's signature though.
All right, you're free to escape.
I'll give that to you tomorrow.
Okay. All right, thank you. Have a good day.
All right.
You too.
Now, next up says Resolution 2025-001, 20 is to transfer general fund to capital reserve fund. I would like to do that after we adopt the budget, because I have an idea I'd like to discuss with the board relative to the budget. So, next up, we got a public hearing for Halfmoon Township 2026 budget.
Dave, before we do that, what's your reasoning for that?
We have a surplus of $200,000, which
Right.
approximately equates to 2.5 mils of real estate tax. I would like to transfer that in and replace the 2.5 mils of real estate tax we're planning for next year for the general fund purpose, reduce it by 2.5 mils.
For next
Use the
year?
surplus. We have overcharged the public by $200,000 by our good distance stewardship, and I'd like to roll that money over, because otherwise we'll have $800-some thousand in our reserve fund, and we're getting up there. We don't need $1 million in the bank, and that's where we're heading.
Well, but my question is, why would you do that after the budget's adopted?
Because we have to establish where the money's to go.
But by putting it in a capital fund, we are able to use that, like, we need work on our maintenance building, we might need an addition on the maintenance building, we're doing major road projects, there's a lot of stuff coming. It's not just year to year, it's also
Yep.
accumulating for things that are coming down the road,
We've
which we
got
have.
$600,000 to spend on that.
But
over
for a
and
new
above.
building or roof or an addition to the maintenance building, that's not even gonna touch it.
Yeah, the $600,000 could easily be eaten up on just the maintenance building.
Well, I guess we'll just have to spend carefully in the future.
With inflation, yeah.
That's why, Ron.
Okay.
So let's open the public hearing for the Halfmoon 2026 budget. It is now 7:21. We call the budget hearing open officially. Would anybody like to testify on the budget? Comments, concerns, happiness, sadness? Happiness? Anyone out there? Anybody online that's got a comment? Don't see any. Anybody from the board have anything they would like to add to the official budget?
I have a statement I'd like to read, Mr. Chair. May I have the floor?
You have the floor. It's official hearing.
Specifically regarding the budget. All of this relates to the budget. I'm just gonna read this verbatim. The Port Matilda Fire Company requested $191,487.22 in municipal funding in 2026. However, when you look at the details of the budget request, there's $18,073.33, which is an interesting number, for recruitment and retention. This line item should be in the fundraising budget, not the municipal shares. There is an unencumbered line item of $10,000. Since when does the Port Matilda Fire Company request extra money not earmarked for anything out of municipal shares? Looks like they gave themselves a $10,000 tip courtesy of the taxpayers. There's a transfer to capital savings of $59,979.17 out of the municipal funds only. It should have been split between municipal shares and fundraising. All told, this budget request is $58,000 higher than it should be. Where is the motor vehicle accidents revenue? The cost to respond to these accidents is coming from municipal funding, but the revenue from insurance companies is going into the fundraising fund. Where's the interest income? It states in the details of the municipal budget request that the Port Matilda Fire Company retains its funds in an interest-bearing checking account earning 2.4%. There's no interest income listed. Where's the fireman's relief funding disclosed? It's not here, although it is received by the Port Matilda Fire Company. This is state money that is given directly to the Port Matilda Fire Company's Fireman's Relief Association through the municipalities. This is a substantial amount of money, and yet there's no accountability by the fire company for this money. The reason why this money is passed through the municipalities served by the Port Matilda Fire Company is so that municipalities can hold the fire company accountable for the expenditures of these funds. Why is the fundraising money not accounted for as revenue for the Port Matilda Fire Company? That money is provided to the fire company by the very same people that pay the taxes that go to the fire company. In my opinion, the municipal funding requested by the fire company is excessive by about $58,000, and the municipal share should be reduced by that amount. In addition, the funding formula that was determined using the PSATS organization is the or using the PSATS organization is the authoritative formula to determine the Half Moon Township's share at 38.57%, and that percent should be applied to the municipal total of $133,424.31, for a total from Half Moon Township of $51,461.75 instead of $74,627.22, with the reduction of the $23,165.47 moved to capital reserve. Item 2 is Port Matilda EMS. Port Matilda EMS requested $55,306 in funding from Half Moon Township for fiscal year 2026. This is 20% more than they received in 2025, and the 2025 allocation from Half Moon Township was 56% of the total municipal funding from 6 municipalities served by this EMS. This is a grossly disproportionate share for Half Moon Township and is completely unfair to our taxpayers. Again, the other municipalities are paying a much smaller amount than they represent in terms of properly weighted funding formula, and the taxpayers of Half Moon Township get to pick up the slack for these municipalities who refuse to pay their fair share. There has been no representation of the interests of Half Moon Township taxpayers for nearly a year now, which has allowed these municipalities to get away with this scheme. This budget should not be increased for 2026 to allow further adjustments to what should be 41% of the total, in my opinion. The funding formula for the EMS should not be much different than that of Port Matilda Fire Company, except that Port Matilda EMS covers 30% more of Half Moon Township. But that is mitigated by the fact that EMS also covers about 15% of Ferguson Township at the west end, but only proposes to receive $5,000 for that coverage. I don't think Ferguson Township residents purchase annual subscriptions for the PMEMS service, do they? Another matter that has not been given due consideration is the fact that the Port Matilda EMS was responsible for $13,000 loss to Half Moon Township for their deliberate failure to follow the rules of the LSA grant that was acquired on their behalf by Half Moon Township with the award of the state grant to Half Moon Township. On August 2025, I submitted a complete and accurate chronological list of the actions
Point of procedure.
that were taken.
Point of procedure.
I have the floor.
Point of procedure.
Patty.
This is not relevant to our budget.
It is directly relevant to the
He's going into
budget.
historical stuff that we've all heard before. If you have a particular item with a line item, we've gone through this budget, we've approved this for public hearing. This is not the time or place to do this, and to
Sure it is.
delegitimize
talking about the budget.
our organizations that support us.
Mr. Joe,
is
do I
not
have the
appropriate.
floor or do I not?
Point of procedure. This is not within
Mr.
appropriate.
I
Sabella
disagree
has the
with your
floor,
point
and
of
he can give
procedure.
any kind of testimony he wishes to at a public hearing. And I assume he's almost finished.
The Port Matilda, also Port Matilda EMS does not, this is pertinent to the budget. Port Matilda EMS does not include all their grant funding as income in their income statements. I have challenged this only to be told that they don't want people to think they have more money than they do. While when spending tax money, they need to account for all of it, not just part of it. I have been called a liar by Ms. Perkins and others regarding the Port Matilda EMS issues and the chronology that was submitted as part of the public record, the submittal of which the Board of Supervisors unanimously approved, as well as with regard to other matters. Everything that is in the documents that I submitted for public record is true and accurate. The information was taken directly from Half Moon Township records, written correspondence between Half Moon Township and Port Matilda EMS, and from minutes from the Port Matilda EMS board meetings, all public information. Ms. Perkins and Steve Cobb of the PMEMS claimed that there were discrepancies in my report, which is completely false. I stand by everything I have submitted in writing and stated in every public meeting. Their accusations of me providing inaccurate information are the real falsehoods. Real falsehoods. And this information is readily available to the public. I was also accused of disclosing privileged information on funding formulas, which is the basis for which we determine these budgets. I've never disclosed any privileged information on any subject to the public. Oh, by the way, for many years now, I've paid for an annual family subscription with Port Matilda EMS and have donated additional money to this organization. You're out of order. Somehow mysteriously, out of all the mailings for 2026, my wife and I didn't receive an annual subscription renewal form from the Port Matilda EMS. Isn't that interesting? However, we did receive a subscription form from Center Lifelink, which is $5 less than the PMEMS. We subscribe to the Center Life Link for 2026, and we'll renew with them. We'll never give another nickel to the Port Matilda EMS.
Mr. Chair,
This
point
is
of order,
irrelevant.
his membership subscription to the EMS, whether he paid it or not, or whether he received it or not, is not directly related to our budget hearing.
It is related because the amount of subscriptions that they receive
It is not
is a
directly
basis for the
related to our
budget.
budget hearing.
All right, all
Open
right.
space program.
Fair enough.
With regard to the open space program, I have stated several times that an independent and impartial financial review needs to be performed to determine if the program is financially viable for the terms of the leases already in effect, as well as any other changes to the program. There have been more than 44 changes to this program since its inception without any independent financial review of the program. The only projections that were ever considered were done by members of the Open Space Board and not impartial. However, other financial projections have been done by the township staff, which clearly demonstrates that the current program, as it stood prior to the permanent easement buyout of the Gray property, that the program will run out of money in 2063 using a CPI of only 3%. Should the CPI increase, the program will run out of money well before that date. This open space program is unsustainable at the current level of participation without adding more properties. The projections by the administrative staff have always been ignored by the Open Space Board in favor of projections by open space members that have never been questioned, let alone challenged. I don't know what Open Space Board supporters of this program are afraid of. An independent review could easily be done by the same CPA firm who does our audits for probably less than $1,000. At least for the first time, we would have an impartial analysis to get to the truth as whether or not this program is sustainable. Current projections by our own township office demonstrate that it is not sustainable. Lastly, our taxpayers aren't here to pay for Clearwater Conservancy to buy up all the property development rights in our township. So I'm asking for a $1,000 budget request to fund that study. An independent financial analysis should have been part of the township's budget long ago. It could still be accommodated in the 2026 budget. We spent countless thousands of dollars to revise the ordinance for this program 44 times, with more changes coming, all in order to further sweeten the deal for the participants. And yet we can't have the first financial review in over 25 years for this seriously flawed and unfair program. If you truly want to know why it's so hard to be a supervisor, it's because when you present an honest and truthful analysis of the issues in this township, you get attacked by dishonest fellow board members and their hostile acolytes who attend these public meetings. One other thing. I go to the township office whenever needed to perform the work of the township and nothing more. And I have worked very hard on behalf of the best interests of this township and its citizens. In fact, supervisor or not, I will go to the office anytime I want.
Again, Mr. Chair.
It is a public
How is
office
this
paid for
related to
by the
budget?
taxpayers, and if anyone of this board has a problem with that, they go pound sand. I'm done.
Thank you.
I have a request. I want that as part of the public record.
It just is.
Good. And it should be available to all the members of the public.
It's a public
That's
hearing.
fine with me.
It's a budget hearing, it's a public hearing.
Well,
All right, does anybody else have anything to add to the budget or complain about? Yes, no, maybe. If not, it's 7:33, I'm gonna close the public hearing. Public hearing is officially closed. Next up is Resolution 2025-2021, approving and adopting the Halfmoon Township's 2026 budget. Possible motion to approve the 25-21 budget for 26. I hear a motion. Do I hear a second? Moved and second. Any discussion by the board? Call for the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next up is
What? Did you ask for opposed votes?
Oh, I thought you voted.
No,
Sorry.
I didn't.
Officially, get him on the record.
No.
We have an official no. Next up is a resolution 2025-2022 for the 2026 real estate tax levy. That's what I'm talking about, the $200,000 extra. I would like to reduce it, the township real estate tax by 2 mills, and the additional money over and above 2 mills could be put into the capital reserve fund.
Handy to about $1 million. That's why.
We got $1 million in the bank, operating
Correct, it's an
reserve.
operating reserve.
$1 million, and we can't cut the real estate taxes 2 mills in this township? If you need to next year, then raise them back up.
You technically can, however, what the problem is going to be, at least now, is you approved a budget that has those mills in it. If you remove, basically, you're gonna have to reopen the budget back up, because if you vote that through to rebalance the budget, which we have to do by law, is present a balanced budget, that needs to be down 2 mills. So it'll
Well-
be 3.37.
Using your logic there, you would never be able to cut spending.
You can if the
Because
budget's
if you have $1 million over here, you
You
can't
can
spend it.
spend that money in a deficit spend, however, the township has done that 2 of the last 3 years.
Well, that's because of,
Because of
Bad
ARPA
spending
funds.
habits.
We accumulated too much money.
we've
Correct.
accumulated too much money, is correct.
You could spend more.
Why would we do that?
Mr.
Just-
Chair,
If you would like to donate more, you're certainly
To
willing.
support emergency services.
Mr. Chair, I second your motion.
Okay, for purposes of discussion. What I'm saying is, the township is swimming in cash, unlike every other center region municipality that has to keep taking from people, the boroughs.
Again, you're not wrong, and you can do whatever you want, I'm just saying you're gonna have to approve them in the right order.
Well, here's what I'm saying, on the resolution for the $200,000, what we do is we would allocate, what's a mill, $67,000, $70,000?
82 and some change.
All right, so $82,000. We allocate $160,000 to roughly 2 mills, because it's all a guessing game.
Right.
So we allocate 2 mills to be used against, in the current budget,
Okay.
allocate 2 mills for, or the equivalent of 2 mills from the surplus from this year to fill in that gap. So the
Okay.
budget stays where the budget is. The only thing is a financial source. We got an extra $200,000. We can stick it over here in this hand, or we can spend it next year.
Are you
And-
asking for a tax cut, Mr.?
I am asking for a 2 mil tax cut.
Okay, I just
Give
want
me
to
$1.5 million, whatever, give me something.
Well, 2 mills is 164,000 and change.
Right. And I think it's the right thing to do.
Well, I seconded your motion.
Can I ask a question?
Sure can.
Of that 800,000, isn't 600,000 in the open space program?
Not according
No, that's
to
a
the
whole
rec-
other
That-
fund.
that's a separate
Yeah, that's a
fund. I
whole
just
separate
wanted to
fund. This is
clarify.
just general fund.
This is general.
Historically,
This is out
most
of-
townships have their own separate operating fund,
not
so if they
capital
want
money
to
either.
deficit spend on a year, it's as simple as moving it over. Halfmoon Township's never worked that way, and the auditors say because of our size, we don't have to. We can just keep spending out of what is our general checking. And what Mr. Piper's suggesting is feasible. It's just, I guess, the order has everybody a little bit confused, because the excess money that you're referring to, just so I'm clear, is coming from where?
General operating.
It's the overrun that we have $200,000 you're gonna put into a capital reserve fund.
Which would have been out of this year to try
Right,
and
so,
balance
so we're
this
gonna
year's
assign
budget.
it to cover the 2 mills difference for next year,
Okay,
is what I'd like to do.
and then you're saying the difference, which would be about the 40,000 you want to put into
Put that into
capital.
capital reserve or dedicated to
That,
part of
that's
the new
where
roof
I
on the
was
building.
not following, where the extra money was coming from.
Can I comment? One of the things that, because I attend the COG meetings, I hear on the other municipalities talking about buildings that they're building, how expensive they are, and so forth. And I think that it's really important to have that kind of reserve for anything we need. And also, I think it's a political trick. It's a political gambit. And that is, hey, Piper, they cut our taxes, and they get a year or two ahead, and they suddenly decide they need more money. Oh, well, that board raised the taxes when Piper lowered them for us, and then we had to raise. It's a trick. It's a political gambit.
Excuse me, it's not a trick.
Okay, it's
How
a
could it be a
political-
trick?
Okay.
The township's
it's not-
got $1 million sitting there that it doesn't have a place for.
It's a
We have
political
overcharged the residents of this township
It's a
$1
political action.
million dollars. $1 million.
Make
Because they were
to-
saving for a new maintenance building.
New maintenance.
Look at the money we pissed away
Yeah, the
on this
last,
building.
the last,
It's
thing we
ridiculous.
the last month, you're in office, you do this. It makes everyone look, suddenly you look good.
I'm not running for reelection, I am lost.
Okay, but
That man over
nonetheless-
there is gonna be your new supervisor.
I know that.
And he can make a decision as to what he
Okay,
wants to do
but-
when he gets in here.
He can
That's
make-
right, and that's why in the last month that you're in office, to pull something like this, that then in the future, 2 years from now, if they have to raise them again, they can, it's a political action.
I've been trying to pull something like this since I got here, because the township, citizens of this township are overtaxed in real estate taxes. Overtaxed.
Well,
They've
that
been
started-
overtaxed.
That started in 2020.
Absolutely. And I couldn't get anywhere with it. So as the last hurrah, I'm trying to fix it before I leave. Because I walk out that door, nobody's gonna give a rat's patoot what I have to say when I'm sitting out here in this audience.
What you're trying to do is cripple the future.
There's no crippling, we got $1 million in the bank. We got more, $200,000 more this year than we needed.
And nobody will wanna spend it.
We also have a budget here, and it clearly states the amount of money that has been given to each of the purposes for which money is spent,
Nobody's
including
getting that.
emergency services. Okay, this budget got approved, it increased spending for both of those entities. Okay, it gave Warriors Mark the money they needed. Although Warriors Mark does it differently, they start with the fundraising, and then whatever they have left over that they need, they ask the municipalities to provide. They do it completely backward from the, completely opposite the way they do it at Port Matilda. So they've got their money, they've got their increases. You know, they stated what they said they needed. They got it. What's there to argue about here? Everything that needs to be funded has been funded. There is plenty of reserves. Now, I didn't come up with this idea, but I'm saying there are plenty of reserves. And those reserves increase every year because the millage increases. The millage stays the same, and then the amount of money increases. The millage was raised at the highest level in the history of the township in 2020. We reduced it by 1 mil. What was that,
23.
Yeah, 2 years ago. That's it. But it was raised 4?
No, it was raised 2.7.
Well, there were 2 increases. There was a dedicated fire tax as well.
Well,
That was
obviously, in
created.
this little township, we've got $1 million
But
that
it
we,
hasn't been raised.
over and above. I agree with Patty, we do need to have a reserve fund for building repair. And the maintenance building does need a roof, but we're not gonna get $500,000 into a roof. Now, if we do an extension onto the building, that might be different, but that's for a new board of supervisors to decide, and they're not gonna do it in 2026 in any event.
Well, if
So
it's for
you're
the
gonna be looking at
future to decide, then
2027.
you shouldn't be deciding they shouldn't have enough money to do it.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, we have a number of building projects that we need to make, put into works in terms of planning, and we also have a number of
I
road projects that
agree.
are outstanding, and $1 million is not gonna go very far when we talk about new buildings that are needed and road projects that are needed. It's just
Well,
not gonna go very far.
When I came here, we were $400 and some thousand in debt. And we are not anymore. The township is completely out of debt. We don't have a payment every month on a building or a truck, and we bought 2 new trucks, we bought a new backhoe.
And isn't that because the previous board raised taxes and then other supervisors ran against them on it?
It's because the last board, this board, saved you tons of money by being responsible with the money.
What are your
Well, I think your
responsibilities?
actions are likely to put us in debt because of what we need
How?
to do. Between the roads and the building works that need to be done, there's no way that we can get that done with just $1 million. There's no way. It's just not gonna happen.
Well, I
We're
don't
gonna have to
see
go
it.
in debt to get it accomplished.
And anyways, is there any other discussion by the board on the matter? All right, so the way this is done is to take the transfer resolution, and we're gonna dedicate 2 mils worth of that transfer resolution towards the 2026 budget to replace the 2 mils we're gonna reduce the budget by. So do I hear a motion to approve the budget resolution for real estate general fund transfer to 2 mils worth to the budget for 2026 and the remaining money to go to the capital reserve fund? So I hear a motion. We have to do this in order.
David, a comment online is create a multi-year strategic plan to answer these issues.
Thank you. All right, well, Ron did second my motion, so motion to levy the real estate taxes
Second.
at the, what do we have, 7 point? We made a motion. We're gonna levy the real estate taxes. Ron, was your motion, you were backing up my motion to change the money around, correct?
I thought it was to cut.
Cut the real estate taxes from
200.
general fund
By 2
from
mills.
7.37 mils to 2.0 mils, or 2.37 mils, excuse me. Reduce it by 5.37 mils.
To reduce it by 2 mills.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah, 7.37 now, we're gonna reduce it for 2026 to 5.37 mils.
I think that's what it was.
Well, general plus OSPP, what you talking about, total?
That's the general, I'm not messing with the
General's
open space, 2
5.37.
mils.
Open space has
That
to be
stays
2
the same.
It's required.
So you're cutting the general from 5.37
General fund from
to
5.37 to 3.37 would be the general fund. Open space remains the same because that's a tax that's voted on by the general public. That's how that was put in place. That's not to be messed with by the board.
Doesn't that have to be on the agenda?
It's on the agenda.
Where?
We are establishing the real estate taxes for 2026. I got a motion and a second. I'm going to call for the question. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Mr. Beck? Not going to go for it.
I think we're where we need to be. We're gonna get in
Okay.
trouble.
Well, I don't see how spending $1 million of the public's money.
Mr. Chair,
Well,
you
in
need to ask for the
case you didn't
nays.
get a hold of it back in.
Well, I'm going to ask for the nays. I was just listening.
Back about 4 or 5 years ago, when we got rid of the manager, Brett goes, hey, we got $1.2 million in the bank. So what the hell's the difference whether we have $1 million now that we can work with, because we got buildings that need work, we got some big road projects, versus what we had before and we spent down and we got out of debt. So why turn around and put us in a bad position where they're gonna have to borrow money for this stuff? Then we're right back where you and I started years ago to get out of.
Well, I suspect that all those bad things that we get rid of will show up again. And then it won't be
I'm not
enough.
gonna argue that point.
It won't be enough.
Can we have the
Mr.
neighbor
Chair, you have a
stay?
vote on the table.
Well, I was just letting Mr. Beck
You have a
explain.
vote on the table.
I am still the chair for a few more minutes. Okay, looking for the nays.
Nay.
Nay.
Okay, nays have it.
Motion fails.
The vote failed. I tried. Okay, we'll
So,
go back to,
Brett, order, which one do we need to do now? Now that we've.
Because they both failed, you can do either, in either order at this point.
So we need to
Which
do
ones?
8
So we need to do 8 and 11.
yep,
Yes.
I move to approve resolution 2520, transferring $200,000 from the general fund to the capital reserve fund.
Second.
moving second, discussion by the board. I would vote for it only if the money is to be used for repairs to the maintenance building.
Well. Okay, you calling for the question, Dave?
Call for the question. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Okay, next up. Gonna adopt the,
11.
I move to
we're gonna
approve
approve the budget, is what we're doing, because it's number 10.
We already did.
We already did that.
Okay,
So I move to approve resolution 2522, a resolution establishing the 2026 real estate property tax.
so here's second.
It was over.
I got a question. Did we do number 10? When did we do number 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
3 items
you
ago.
disapproved.
You
It was
voted
4-1.
You voted
Voted
no.
no. Yeah.
Okay, that's right. Okay. That's right. Sorry, I
Okay,
got a
number
little bit
11,
confused
real
there with all
estate
this.
taxes.
Tammy made a
I have a
motion.
motion on the table.
Second.
Moving second, any discussion by the board? Call for the question. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nay. Okay. Next up, award aggregate and bituminous materials for fiscal year 2026. Do I hear a motion?
I move to award the aggregate bituminous bids to the lowest bidders for
Second.
fiscal year 2026.
I hear a second.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion by the board? Call for the question. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Township reports. Anybody, staff, have any reports? Treasurer, secretary, or public works?
I didn't get my reports done, but I'll get them added later.
Okay, anything from the board that needs to be put out?
Mine were all canceled.
All right, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all for coming.